All right, hello. I want to talk a little about Copilot. Copilot is a brand new project by Arthur, who's the guy behind Cockpit CMS. I don't know if you've heard about Cockpit. It's a small CMS written in PHP, which is a pure backend CMS. It's really nice. You should go check that out as well. Copilot, on the other hand, is more like a pure front-end CMS. So it will help you in structuring your site's content, your site's like layouts, different snippets, menu structure, like short codes to include your JavaScript and CSS assets, and so on and so on. It's in the very early stages, so I think the first public commit for this was like last weekend. So there's not much public information to look at. Like Arthur's still working on like the promotional website and documentation and so on, but you can already go check it out on GitHub at the current state. This is a starter package, so it comes with some content to see how you can work with this. So basically you just check it out. I've done that already. This is what it looks like when you open it for the first time. It's just some example content, a few pages, like a demo for a nested menu structure right here. You can see an about page, which is actually rendered from a markdown file in the backend. A simple blog rendered from static markdown pages as well. But every markdown document has some meta information as well, like the author and the created date and so on. And yeah, that's basically what it looks like in the browser. Oops. Let's have a look. So this is the menus, the directory structure that I just wanted to have a quick look at. Basically, all the CMS core code is in this system folder. So you have like config folder, like layouts, which has the default layout. As you can see, default layout will come from the theme. We'll have a look at that later. Excuse me. But basically, that's not what we're going to look at now. We're just going to look at how you actually build a site. And for that, there's the site folder. And actually, the site folder looks kind of similar to the system folder. Like there's another, again, like assets, config, layouts, snippets, and a bootstrap PHP where you can, right now, it doesn't do anything, but you can just add your custom, your site's custom code in here. You'll have a theme folder with a default layout. This is just like a plain example setup. Content is rendered here. This is how you render a menu. So Arthur has this. Basically, this is a PHP templating that you can do here, but Arthur has created a few shorthand. Like this is doing basic echoing of a variable with another bracket that would be escaped output, and so on and so on. And a few shorthands to actually include assets here. This will expand to the correct link tag to link to that CSS file, this to a script tag to the JavaScript file. And the nice thing you can see here is when you are working with files and path, you actually have those shortcodes for a certain folder, so you don't have to insert the whole URL the whole time. It will automatically resolve to the correct path. So a theme column, for example, will point to site/theme, and so CSS site CSS will be in here. Yeah, that's it. There it is. Yeah, that's basically you set up your whole site, your whole layouts, something like snippets. Okay, there's no snippet defined in this example, but I think in the system, yeah, see that's the menu snippet. It's actually, oops. So basically this here renders the the menu renderer in here. And you can add your own snippets for, I don't know, what have you, like short, yeah, like a Google map, for example, and you would create your own snippet in here, or like stuff you use over and over again, like short things of content. And the content of your site actually goes in the content folder. So let's have a look at that now. Basically, you see here what we saw in the front end. There's the index file, which is the first file that will be rendered when we just open the browser. The about file, which will automatically be the page mounted to /about. And then the blog. The blog is a bit more complex, which is why it has its own folder, but it will still be mounted to the /blog URL, and then it will use the index file here to render the blog. Let's have a look at that later. First, the index file. It's just a basic HTML file here, and it has some metadata on top. So right here, there's only a title set for this page, and it will then use that. You can use whatever you set in your pages when you render that. For example, the title attribute in any page will, like in this example content, the theme uses it to, from the metadata of the current page, it gets the title attribute. And if it can't find the title attribute, it will use the site's default title. So we have home, I don't know, home 23. Okay, right now the title is home. I'll refresh home 23. So I prove that this is working. Same with the about file, looks very similar. As you can see here, the extension will actually determine how this content is rendered. Right now there's, I think, 2 renderers available, one for HTML, one for Markdown. And again, same thing with the metadata. Yeah, the blog is actually the interesting thing, right? So the blog index, this is basically just one line of PHP. These shorthands here are the same as typing the default PHP open and closing, but of course it gets a bit annoying to type all the time, so yeah, it's just a shorthand. What this does is at the current page object, it sets an article attribute, and that article's attribute is the following. Okay, I'll just highlight that. So from the current page object, so we are now on the blog page, it gets all sub-pages from the articles folder. So you can see here, this is the articles folder. And then, so this is basically then a collection of articles. It only selects those that are visible, and it sorts them by the created attribute, which is in the metadata of each page, descending, in the descending order. So articles, all articles which are visible. Actually, visible means, well, a hidden article is anything that starts with an underscore. So here's another meta file which won't be included in this collection because the visible only selects the other 2. It will take the meta field created, so in hello world it's this value, and in second article is this value, and order that by the current, by its value in a descending order. So that's it. And then what you see here actually is that the blog can use a different layout so than the other pages. For example, the index and the about page, we're always using the theme's default layout. So this will take from the theme. Let's have a look at that. So we have, I think what is happening here is Arthur has created this override cascade, so it will if you point to a layout, it will first look in the system layouts. It won't find a block layout there, so then it will look in the site layouts. The site layouts, there's a block folder and there's the index file, so it will use this layout to render this page object. Okay, what does it do? This block layout extends the theme's default layout. It gets the articles that we just set in the index, and again, like there's this shorthand to, if there are no articles set, it will use an empty list. Okay, this HTML. If there are no articles existing, it will point out, it will output a message. But if there are, it will iterate through the articles and just render it. The rendering works like this as well. Like depending on what kind of article we have, it can render different layouts. So this is just an example for how a simple block could look like. Let's have a look at default article. Again, it's just a different layout, and just a teaser, for example, would just render the same content but with a different markup. Yeah, so okay, so we saw the teaser here, the teaser layout. So what Arthur has included in the articles as well is like you can actually separate your content in different parts and access those, but it's really not it's a cool feature, but I wouldn't go into that right now. So yeah, that's it's a quick look at Copilot. I quite like it. I like the idea of, it's basically a good way to structure your site when you're starting off, and you don't have to re-implement the whole routing thing and menu structures and so on. Oh, actually menus. Just one last thing I want to show you. We saw in the site theme layout file up here. Oops, no, up here. Up here in the navigation, there's a shorthand add menu. It will look for a menu snippet. What is a menu snippet? Okay, oops. Actually, the system comes with its default snippet for menus, snippets, menu. And this will just determine how a menu is rendered. But of course, we separate the rendering from the actual content, and the navigation actually should go. Oh, now I'm a bit lost. Menu main, it will be called main.yaml, and it's in the site's config. Okay, well that makes sense. So yeah, so the layout actually is just a YAML file. I'll just add another. Well, this is getting ugly. Anyway, so just like a label and a route, and even nested menu structures are possible with this default renderer, but of course you can create your own. I refresh and we see that now there's about me, and of course both are active now because it's the same page. Anyway, that just for the menu. And yeah, there's a lot more to find out just by looking at the code and the example content, but that's really what I wanted to show you today. Go check out the GitHub repository, the CocoPy organization / Copilot. Check out the code, fork it, write some documentation, find some bugs, and let's help Arthur build an awesome CMS.